Hey everybody, this is Count Armor VHS, and today we are going to take a look at what's new in Shogun Total War, the oldest Total War game. And why do I say it like this? Well, this is a game that is relatively new to me. My first Total War game was Medieval, back in 2002. I knew vaguely that there was this samurai Total War game that preceded it, but to be honest, I was never all that into Japanese history. Until relatively recently, I gave Shogun 2 a start, and then I looked back at this one, and the similarities to Medieval 1 helped make this one a little more attractive to me, I guess, than Shogun 2. There's some simplicity. I like the Risk-style map, and there's also some fantastic campaign mechanics here. Very hardcore, very old school, somewhat clunky, I guess, but it's a game that I really appreciate. I don't play as much as maybe I ought to, and so today we're going to remedy that a little bit in somewhat celebration of the recent start of a new Shogun series, which we will see if that's any good. Let's jump into to the game here. We're going to go with a full campaign. I'm going to go with Expert. I think I've won exactly one campaign of this before, but it has been a little while, and apart from that, I've got very little experience. I've tried like maybe 2 or 3 factions. We're going to be playing on the Sengoku Jidai campaign. The other campaigns, there's like 5 or 6 you can choose from. Just give different starting positions, and one campaign gives very different starting positions. So here's more. I guess this is more of a historical start, whereas the standard version of the game, this is what you would have gotten if you just got the game out of the box back in like 2000. You would have gotten this this setup with lots of provinces accounted for by major factions, which we can choose from. But at some point they released, or maybe this came with the box set originally, I don't know, they also gave an alternate, very, very heavily rebellious Japan, where the starting factions are restricted to, I guess, more historically accurate starting points. But there's no red faction, there's no Mori here apparently, so it's interesting. Development in 1550, there they are. So I guess they really tried to get some of that history correct. We also have a 1580 starting position, and then finally, of course, the Mongol invasion campaign, where you start off, if you start off as the Hojo, I guess, in possession of almost all of Japan, and if you start off as the Mongols, you start with nothing. It's an interesting shot. We're going to go with this, though, the more standard position, and we also need to choose our conditions of victory. Medieval 1 introduced the idea of either total conquest or glorious achievements. And basically every Total War game throughout all of the series, as far as I'm aware, has something like this where you can choose, to just paint the map or to get some smaller version of victory. I really like what Shogun 1 started off with. You can just select to get everything, or you can go for a short campaign, or you can do either of those things and then add in a couple of these other options. So typically I don't like to paint the map. I feel the need to conquer all of the provinces of Japan. It gets to be a slog at the end. You're mostly auto-resolving. It loses a bit of its appeal. For me, the fun of the campaign is the early period and then trying to stay alive. We could choose to add to this that we also need to eliminate all the rival clans, so that means everybody dies. I don't think so. I like the idea that we could form an alliance that lasts, that is almost certain to fail, to go out the window as soon as we get into a certain size. But I like that this is an option. You could just choose to murder your other rival clans and win that way. Or we could go with the caveat that we need to stay alive for 70 years. I'm also going to keep that unchecked at the moment, but these are things that we could select. Now, what I'm not sure about here is if we would need to satisfy all of these options, or just the first one that kicks in gets us our victory screen. I'm not sure about that. So now we need to choose a clan, though. Now, the sort of the standard one would be the Shimazu, right? They're the starting faction, basically. There's something I like about this art. I like the idea that we're in a period that starts right off with some very early primitive gunpowder, and the Shimazu seem to have a slight advantage there in the sense that I believe the Portuguese ships are going to arrive in your territory first, potentially, and that means you can take advantage of this stuff pretty soon. Nevertheless, I don't feel like I want to play them for this campaign, but let's take a look at what else we have for options. We have Yes Clan Mori here. So they get a bonus to Warrior Monks. Shimazu, by the way, gets a bonus to the two-handers, the Nodachi Samurai, for a lower cost. Now, these advantages that the factions get are only to do with the cost, right? So you can field more of them for less money, essentially, but you also get some notification about your strategic position. There are some resources that are going to be very important to the game, and so I like that this screen gives you a sense of what that might be. So the Mori's advantage is going to be Warrior Monks, which is a fantastic unit, and they also get some nice silver deposits nearby. Now, I think this is the clan that I first won with, first got to the victory screen. So for that reason, again, I don't know that I'll be playing with them. I want to try something a little more challenging. We'll see how it goes. Oda. Okay, so this is... I'm tempted by this. I've never had a go at them beyond like 1 or 2 turns. Just enough to realize that it's that it looks really tricky. On the one hand, they've got a sort of what looks like a strong central position. They're right next to what is effectively the capital. And that can give you some advantages, but I think also brings some disadvantage. There are some rebels nearby, but the rebels in this game are very aggressive compared to later Total Wars. Certainly in Medieval 1 and Rome Total War, the rebels would basically sit. They would basically adopt a defensive posture. Not so in Shogun 1. They can come for you. And the rebels in this area are also very strong. They've got lots of warrior monks nearby. So this would be a thing to consider. Now, the Yari-Ashigaru discount for the Oda seems really like a minor deal initially, because who cares? They're literally the peasants, right? This is the lowest tier of unit that you can train, and so why would you want to train more and more of them? I guess the idea is that these guys are supposed to be like the Soviets, right? Just producing tons and tons of men and sending them out to flood their enemies. There's something that's kind of appealing to me about that. And also, I think that the discount applies to Matchlock Ashigaru as well. I'm not 100% on that, but the idea of training a mass of conscripted peasants with spears, basically, and complementing that with handgunners seems really interesting. So we'll give that a think. We also have Clan Imagawa. They are the strategists. So these guys are going to get advantages to the ninja, which is kind of like the assassin piece, and shinobi, which are kind of like spies. These guys, though, have another use, which is really fun. So when you have a port placed on the map, that does allow you to transport troops between another place where you have a port. There's no ships in this game, which is at first struck me as very strange, but I guess naval warfare was not that big of a deal in this period. So what you can do is use those ports to give yourself some strategic mobility. You just teleport them, essentially. One port to another port that you own is treated as being adjacent. What you can do, however, with shinobi is put them into an enemy or a rival province with a port, and then you can go there too. So I love this mechanic. Why they removed this type of thing, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's overpowered and prone to abuse by the human, and the AI has no way to counter it or realize that it exists. Possibly that's the reason. Nevertheless, I love to make use of this. So they're going to get agent advantages. We also have the Takeda. So this is an interesting position, kind of like the Imagawa, in that they are separated into these two clan holdings. And these are the Cav faction. So they're going to get advantage to cavalry, which is very strong in this game, if used well. And they've also got some wealth. Okay, Hojo. Man, some of these factions are really, really nice. I've not given Uesugi a try. These guys get an archer advantage, which is nice. They also have a good starting position, in the sense that they can leave their backs, unguarded and kind of progress through the middle of Japan. But of course, as they go, the province borders become a bit of a headache to sort of keep track of. And then finally, we have the rebels. Unfortunately, you can't select them. I was very excited when I first fired up this game just a few years ago, I think, for the very first time, to see that the rebels were actually a faction you could select on the screen, but no, sadly you can't. So let's take another look at the Hojo here. I like the style of this faction. It's odd that the pictures don't always match the faction's advantages, but the Hojo can construct castles for a lower cost, which, if you think about it, is a fantastic advantage. Castles in this game, just like castles in Medieval 1, are your tiers for your building development. So every building you build that allows you to build another tier of stuff is a castle, effectively, and you get discounts on all of those. So that is a very strong advantage. I also like the idea that these guys are kind of they're traditionalists, right? These guys remembered for driving away the Mongol hordes, and they plan to return to their former glory. They do not trust rivals or strangers, but prefer to rely on their fighting prowess, the great wealth of their lands, and their mighty fortresses. Okay. I like that idea. So what do we have for resources? We've got a lot. We've got very fertile lands. We've got some copper deposits, and then we've got emissaries, where we can get some extra skill if we train them out of Kazusa. Let's do it.
The year is 1530. For 200 years, the Ashikaga shogunate has ruled Japan from their capital in Kyoto. The recent Onin War has shown that they no longer have the power to control Japan's great clans. The time has come for a new warrior to claim the title of shogun. Japan is divided between ruthless warlords. Armies grow stronger, only to be depleted in the frequent vicious battles that give this era its deserving name, Sengoku Jidai, the age of the country at war. Year after year, the endless plains that divided the clan's territories are stained with the blood of thousands of brave samurai, fighting for their liege lord and for their honor. When necessary, accept help from others, not of our lands. Gaijin can be useful pawns in your campaign, as they bring guns from overseas. If they become a nuisance, they should be expelled from our shores, or even eliminated. When there is no other way, assassination can be instrumental in gaining victory. Even a general who is invincible in battle is as vulnerable as a child when asleep. Use the men of the shadows, for they excel in the deliverance of death by night. No one is untouchable. Honor is everything to samurai. A man who loses face and his honor must then also lose his head. This is Bushido, the way of the warrior. Follow these rules of wisdom that have been handed down through generations, and your victory will be complete. Japan can be ruled completely by only one man, a great warrior, general, and strategist. To become shogun will require battles to be won with the mind as well as the sword. Now is your time. Let total war begin.
Yes, indeed. Let's let it begin. We're going to have a black screen here for a second as we load, but what a great intro. So, some very different things from even medieval Total War, which threw me off quite a bit. We have a season sort of timeline here. So each turn represents one of 4 seasons. We're in summer right now. We get paid, though, in only one of those turns. I think it's autumn. With autumn's harvest, we get cash. So that's a very different thing. Let's go take a look at that as a matter of fact. So yes, this year's harvest was average. I guess we can expect to be looking at this for the future. We'll dive into this a bit later. I'm not going to get too bogged down in the details just now, but one thing we can do, just like in Medieval 1, is press Shift and see what our public order looks like. Green is good, yellow is okay, but possibly should be changed. We've got population loyalty here of 111%. Now, you would think that is good, and in Medieval 1, that would be very good indeed. That would be no problem, unless you were potentially looking at a faction reemergence happening. But here, this is a bit of a warning. You see that yellow, and it's a bit of a warning. Now, I think I'm going to risk that. Like I said, I don't know the numbers in this game nearly as well as I do in Medieval 1, and even in that game, I don't know them perfectly. But I think we're okay. If we're at 111%, I think we're basically okay. But we will have to make do with this amount of money until our autumn harvest, and then we'll have to make do with whatever we have in our treasury there for the next 4 seasons. The other thing is the seasons in this game do play I think it's a more dramatic role in the battles than even in Medieval 1. In Medieval 1, you don't really know what the season is because a turn is a single year. And, is there a difference between autumn, spring, and summer? Obviously, sometimes you get winter battles, and the rain matters and so on. But in this game, there seems to be more of a fixed set of qualities that are associated with the battlefield in each season. So summer and autumn, it's obviously going to be free of snow, but it may be windy, it may be rainy some of these months. You're going to see more rain in the spring, right? And in the winter, you're going to have snow, which is going to potentially affect ranged weapons, but also fatigue. Wet weather also impacts fatigue, which I don't know that it did in Medieval or the later games. So there are some slight subtleties here, which you may have to take into account. And because you get 4 seasons to play with, you can plan that out a little bit. So we're looking okay initially here. We can't see into any place yet, though, because we don't really have any buildings built, except for this place, and yes, I think that's it. Shimosa does have our archery dojo, which means we can get our archers, we can get emissaries at these tranquil gardens, and we can get Yari Samurai and Yari Ashigaru immediately. So that's something we may want to do. This place, though, is what we were told in the beginning that we could get some nice emissaries here. So I think I want to play to that strength a little bit. That's going to require me to get a castle going, and that is going to cost us 187 koku and take 2 seasons. So already that discount cost is kicking in. I think a castle normally would cost 250. So you can see over time that's going to play a role. Here, though, let's see. Yes, this is our daimyo. Let's get him out here. And just a few things you'll notice about this. There's no trait system in this game. There are no traits. You have characters. They do have names. Some of them are very important indeed. If this guy dies, it's game over, unless we have an heir who has come of age. But other than that, there's nothing. They have a certain amount of rank indicated by the stars, which later games would call command instead. They have a certain amount of honor, which is like experience, essentially. That's this number here, the 3, and that's kind of it. So you basically make your characters. It's not really a game with a lot of other factors in terms of developing the personalities of your characters. We have a fair amount of troops built already. We've got some archers, and we've got some Yari Samurai, and I think we've got some Ashigaru somewhere kicking around. Yes, right here. Okay. So the first thing to decide is what to do in terms of diplomacy, where to attack, and where to try to hold out, because we are kind of in the middle. Now, off to our north/east here, we've got the Uesugi clan, and that's it. They've got a few holdings up here, but not too much. So in theory, we could have our northern flank secure after just a few battles. In practice, I think that's a bit harder to take, in part because the provinces here seem somewhat less lucrative than the ones here, and I feel more obliged to defend like this, and therefore to build up on my west and south, because these provinces are so rich and important. And also, we've got a river here, which means any battle fought in this province, and this province for that matter, are going to be bridge battles, which means you have a great advantage there. So I tend to kind of build up here a little bit. So speaking of that, let's go ahead, do a castle, just in case, something goes horribly wrong. But we don't want to plan on retreating to the castle here, right? We want to plan on keeping forces here that can hold because our neighbors to the west, the Takeda, may cause trouble for us. So let's get our emissary out. He doesn't have any honor yet. He's got no skill, no subterfuge, whatever you want to call it from the later games. Honor does sort of everything. It sort of refers to the experience of your agents, I guess, but also to the experience of your men. So it's sort of an interesting take there. Okay, so we can go... Let's see, we can't, unlike the later games, we cannot drop on an emissary to initiate diplomacy, but we do have the faction leader here, I believe. Yes, and so that means we can propose an alliance right away with the Takeda. Let's give it a shot. I don't know if they're going to take it, but we'll see. And it would be nice to hold off against them. What's this? This is another Yusugi province. So, yeah, I think we may be going to war with them fairly soon here. There are a few initial moves that the game sort of traditionally makes. I don't know exactly what those are, so we're not going to worry too much about that. Let's go ahead and grab an archer unit out of here. I think that's going to be helpful. And let's swap some things around. Part of the reason we are dealing with low loyalty in Shimosa is because we've got no units there. And I guess we could move somebody out. Like, I don't think we're going to be attacked from Mutsu down into Hitachi this turn. So let's do that. And let's decide where else we may want to build. This has a copper mine. This has iron sand, which is good for an armory. Yeah, and I think we may want to build this. Anyway, so let's do castle here. And since we're already doing a castle in a few different places, let's go with a watchtower here where it's going to make sense. This is going to allow us to see into these three provinces. Also a bit of public order. Like currently we can't see what these units actually are because we don't have watchtowers. So we'll get that going. And geez, I think we probably need to stop building at this point because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. That's going to be basically all of our money. All right. Yes, I think that's sort of a standard move. We're going to have an invasion, and Shinano, which is over to our west, the Uesugi has retreated. Okay. So I could have gamed that a little bit. I could have moved up to like here or something potentially. But we have the Imagawa making an early play for this important central province of Shinano, which, as you can see, I love the artwork on this map too, by the way. This is not just art, but it does give you an indication of the resources. And maybe it's a little hard to see on video here, but we've got a very nice sort of line drawing of a cavalry soldier, essentially. And this place indeed does give you a bonus to cavalry in terms of honor, that is, experience. So the faction bonuses for units are for the lower cost, but the province bonuses for units are for higher honor, which is, of course, more more impactful, I would say. And so that makes these provinces very important to get. And so even though like I can't select this province here, I know that there's something good, right? I can tell there's a guy here standing with a pole arm of some kind, the name of which escapes me. We've got a guy here as well. This is an archer, I suppose, so I think your archers are going to be better here. We've got a ninja, I think, here. This looks like a warrior monk. Maybe there's 2 warrior monk provinces. But regardless, you can also see resources. You get a sense of mountains and rivers. It's enough to convey what's going on in the game. Very, very helpful here. And we've got our public order, nice. But we're down to 126 koku, so that's not very good. All right, let's get our guys together. In addition to not having traits, units don't have loyalty, and therefore I don't think there's a civil war possibility with this game, right? So you don't have to worry about that. Which I suppose is kind of nice. Now, this place does look like it's pretty well built up. We'll see how long that lasts, and hopefully these guys will be too busy fighting each other for me to notice. So we're going to be seeing how the alliance plays out next turn. I don't have money to do anything other than move things around, so I think I'll wait. And you're going somewhere. We've got a Takeda emissary going somewhere for an alliance. Let's see. All right, watchtowers are finished, and we've got our 2 castles finished as well. And look at that money. Very nice. Okay. So, unfortunately, Takeda has rejected the alliance proposal. He does not wish war, but requires further proof of your good intentions. A demilitarization of our borders would provide this. I don't trust these guys, so that's not going to happen. We had a good harvest this year, so that means all of our crop revenues are up by 25%. Very, very nice. That's going to allow us to do some building. But again, we need to be careful about this because it's going to be until the next fall before we get any more income. If we check out our economy again, again, hard to say exactly what this is going to be. We could change the taxes to put them to high. Right, the lowest is 137, so we could go up to high taxes, and we could go to punitive even. Let's go with that. Let's stick with punitive. So far, everything's still yellow. Now, probably we should only do that just before the money's going to come in, because I don't think changing our tax rate here is going to matter if we have to drive it down to low in the summer, right? But regardless, that may make a bit of a difference. We can't tell where you're going, but maybe we can make an alliance with somebody else. And I think I remember this happening in the past. Trying to make an alliance with the Takeda doesn't work, and so then you have to go elsewhere begging for an alliance. Now, we could maybe try to hold out. They only share a single border with us, and it's a river border. So maybe I won't try to go to war with them just yet, and maybe I can pursue a war in the north for now. So let's move the emissary over towards somewhere else. Like, I think, can we drop him anywhere? Yeah, he's going towards Omi, I guess. And so we'll let him make that journey. Now, down here, we can get good honor emissaries once we build the gardens. So let's see. Tranquil Garden, here we go. 250 koku, 2 seasons. Let's do it. I have a feeling we're going to need another emissary soon anyway, because once assassins start getting out, they're not going to be long for the world. So here we still can't train anything, nor here, but we can go for some more troops in Shimosa. And geez, do I go for more samurai archers, Yari samurai, or Yari Ashigaru? I think if we're not going to begin a war with the Takeda, we need to make sure we've got good defenses here. So let's go with a Yari Ashigaru unit. And his purpose will be to kind of defend down here and just keep the public order nice. Let's send you up here, and we are not going to demilitarize the border. In fact, we are going to militarize it harder in an effort to discourage them from attacking and hope that if they do attack, we can just slaughter them on the bridge. Or bridges. There may be more than one. All right, and since our border watchtowers are finished here, we can in fact see into Mutsu, where they have built a spear dojo, a tranquil garden, and an archery dojo, allowing them to train pretty much all the same stuff we can train in our own capital of Shimosa. So here they've got Yari Samurai, and Ashigaru. We could pile in. If we do attack, we're told that the province is highland, which means that the AI is going to use the hill. Looks like there's forests too, and that means they're going to be on a hill in some trees probably. Again, these maps are something you can learn if you play the game enough times. I do not have enough experience to know exactly what map I'm going to face here, but you get a good sense from the preview here. I think this is the place I would like to attack just because it makes sense in terms of regularizing my border. Right? If I take this, I can take troops out of here and here without worry. So let's do that. Let's get going on another castle as well. And I think Kozuki would be the place that would make sense. This doesn't give any bonuses to men. Actually, no. I thought we were going to get some advantages to iron sand deposits. Okay. So iron sand deposits are in Hitachi, but not in Kozuki. Okay. Nevertheless, I think it makes sense strategically to place a castle here and start having some training capability. So we'll get one here, and why not? Let's do one in Hitachi as well. We're getting one going. Is that right? I think we've got it all set up. Yes. So we'll get those two. I think we're going to leave this alone just for now. And I want to just keep training units. So we're going to probably go for archers next turn. Alright. So since I'm doing an invasion, I am going to change the tax rate. We're going to bring it back down to normal. I don't want to upset anybody, but we are going to pile everything in to Mutsu. Because there's no reason not to. Yes, Lord Uesugi is currently neutral, but he's being piled on by some other factions. So we'll just join the fun. I know the daimyo is up here. Or he was at the last turn. And they've got 3 spear units, one of which is Ashigaro. We've got only 1, but we've got a lot of archers. So let's see how this goes. I think we can do well in that setup. Now that may have been their emissary trying for an alliance, but we'll see. We are outnumbered. And we do not know exactly what units they have, if they've moved in something different. But let's do it. We'll command the attack personally. We've got our daimyo with us. He's got 3 command stars. He's not fantastic, I guess, but he's giving everybody a bit of an honor bonus. Alright, and I like to keep that nice and low. Here we are in Mutsu. Before the battle starts, we can cruise around and see where they're likely to be. I'm guessing over in these hills. This would be where I would set up if I was the computer. Alright, light fog. I want to wait for good weather if possible. Okay. Wait. This just got worse. Alright, we have to attack now. And of course it's winter. Let's see. That could be a good thing for us. Let's go ahead and just get everybody grouped. And let's begin the battle. And let's see if we can identify where they are. No, I just don't know, but I'm thinking they would have to be up here somewhere. So let's go way out over here. Start to see a little bit better. Yeah, you see birds flying. Sometimes that means there's the enemy. Sometimes it just means there's birds. But that would be my guess, that they're over here. Alright. Now, I have not watched Khan of Stepp's Hojo campaign. I believe he has done one. He's done, I think, all of the factions. I think he's, in fact, going through to the different campaigns as well. I've watched his Shimazu, I've watched some of his Oda. Excellent series, fantastic guy, really active in the comments, so very helpful for when you're, like, new to the game. So definitely go check him out. But I'm saying that because, you know, he may have had some excellent advice for starting as the Hojo, right? And if he does, well, I won't know what that is, sadly. All right, I just don't see anybody here. Oh, did I just see some? Yes. Nope, that's birds. Okay, but it could be that the birds are scared because of soldiers. So one thing that you're not going to be able to appreciate because you're watching this and I'm talking is the intensity of this stage of the battle. This is not something that the later Total Wars make much of at all in their frenzied rush to get you right in the middle of the action. They want you to have a battle where you see the enemy and you start fighting almost immediately. In Thrones of Britannia, which is a game that I love, actually, and I will return to, the very first move is always, here's a few rebels, and why don't you go fight them now? And it's like your first mission is to go fight the rebels. All right, I guess we're going to have to go over here because we do have a timer working against us, too. Oh, no, that's the edge of the map. But there's this rush to get into the battle, to get into the action quickly, and Shogun 1 is just not built that way. It is very much maneuver, right? Plan, think, where are they? Because you start to get impatient, like I am now. You start to think, all right, come on, we gotta find these guys. I can't be walking around. Here they are, finally. You know, I can't be walking around the woods forever in the snow. My men are going to get tired. Yeah, quite tired. Some of them are. This is obviously bad, right? If we just let this state continue, and then you rush, and then they come down from a wooded height and demolish you. So there's a great deal of intensity involved in these initial maneuvers. This is very early stage of, what are we going to do? How are we going to find the enemy? How do we approach them? Okay, and they do have some archers, but we've got more. All right, so let's bring all of you down. In fact, let's rush them forward. And we're going to be sort of in the trees here, obviously. That's going to have a negative impact on our own arrows. We can now see what else they have. Okay, 60 samurai archers. All right. And that's their general, I guess. Yari samurai, samurai archers, samurai... Okay, so this is not good. But it's working in our favor so far. And we can also see that I don't think any of these guys have any honor, right? No valor. The way you can tell is there should be these little flags. Yes, so you've got the flags that indicate what the unit is, and then they've also got these flags which indicate their experience, right? So all of our guys have one of those flags, except for the daimyo himself, who has 3 little flags indicating his honor. Okay, we've got them down by half, and they haven't taken out any of our archers, and only a single of our Yari samurai who are concealed, allegedly concealed in the trees. I think they're targeting them anyway. All right, but this is now a problem. Let's focus on this unit. We got them down to half. Let's just do the same thing with them. And here's their spears. Yep, they're down to 26. Great. Now, the other thing we have to keep in mind is I'm tempted to take my heavy cav and charge them out into this general here, because he's a good unit. He's got a bunch of valor, but I don't think they're tanks. So I'll move him into position for maybe a likely occasion. But we do have to be careful, because if he dies in this battle, it is game over. All right, I'm going to ungroup everybody because the way the groups work is different to the way they work in Medieval 1, and it's just different enough that it's confusing me. So I'm going to just go one guy at a time, get into my groove a little bit later here. All right, they can start to out-archer us, at which point I think I will want to rush in. All right, quite fresh. They're doing an awful lot of repositioning, which is not good for them. All right, let's go now to this unit. They seem to be responding to being targeted, so they're moving off. And you can see how they're keeping their Yari up on the hill there. So I'd be tempted now to, if I had a little more melee units, to kind of rush, right? To push their archers back. And I may want to rush with my archers pretty soon because we're getting low on arrows. Let's now switch targeting to this unit. I think we're obscured, so that's why a lot of these archers have lots of arrows left. Alright, let's have you target the Yari. And I think if we can get, you know, enough of their... Yeah, that's good. Enough of their melee out of the way. Oh man, the sound effects here. If we can get enough of their melee guys depleted, we can then rush in, melee with them with our own Yari. Hopefully win if they don't move back up the hill. Alright, he's out now, unfortunately. Let's move him over... Jeez, do we want to go now? 57 to 57. Alright, I think I will bring this archer unit up. Alright, and now we've got, I think, a lot better range. There we go. They don't like that, so they're going to march away. So we've got 37 men in this front rank here of samurai archers who've used up all their arrows. We are taking losses in some others. I'm thinking it might be time to start pushing these guys. But I think I want my general to be over here. Let's run him over there. He's quite fresh. And let's maybe move our Yari samurai down through the trees a little. And we'll get you guys moving over here to kind of come up and maybe flank. Alright, this is a stupid move. Alright, okay, good. Good. Running away. Their morale is going to be fairly low here, so... so obviously they're routing. There we go. Very nice. Alright, let's follow him if we can. And I think we've got everybody else on the move here. Those Yari Samurai could be a problem. But we've got enough of our own men, I think, to keep them off of our backs. And there they go, running away. So I think everybody should be routing here. Alright. Is it time to do the triple speed? I think it might be. There we go. Alright, let's see. We gained some honor with our leader here. Very nice. He didn't lose anybody, but he killed enough dudes. No honor gained for any other units, but I'm pretty happy about that. We did lose quite a few archers. But that's enough for us to take the province here, but not enough for us to totally conquer it. Some of them have gotten into the castle. We did pillage 450 koku and destroy some facilities. That's unfortunate. We're going to need to build it back. And here we've got an announcement that I believe means the Oda have taken the province of Yamashiro. I think this would change if any other faction took this, right? To reflect the fact that this is where the emperor is living. You get some faction-wide bonuses for getting this province. It either has to do with honor, maybe it has to do with your agents. I can't quite remember. But the Oda are going to get some advantages now that they've taken that province. They may also have a bit of a target on their back, though, too. All right, now here, we can't see the Dewa province, and or maybe we can, and we just don't. Yeah, there's just literally nothing here, so no units at all. I'm guessing that's what that means. Maybe not, though. Maybe I'm being overly optimistic. There could be a massive army here. So let's go to the economy. We're going to change the tax rate to very low. Yes, and that's going to get us to a nice safe 110%, I think. And you are Uesugi. You're at war. They're offering an alliance. So either that will become an actual alliance or it will become like a ceasefire. Okay. So this is only going to last for a couple of seasons here, which might mean if it works like it does in Medieval 1, that really means like 3 turns. So we may have to defend this place, but that may be okay because we have some other units we can throw. So let's go for some Yari Samurai here. And I am going to move up the Ashigaru just because we may need them, right? And Kazusa, I think we're still building, yes, the Tranquil Garden. So we don't have too much else we can do, but we do have enough cash to really think about, you know, doing some other stuff here. So let's go with some training facilities in Musashi. It feels like a bit of a waste because I've already got them here, but why not, right? So do we want to go with archery or spears? I think it'd be good to have archeries right here. That's only going to take us a couple of turns, 400 koku. So we'll go with that. We could go right up to Large Castle immediately. That costs 375. I think that's down from like maybe 500, if I remember correctly. So again, those discounts are really going to add up. Let's go ahead and end the season. All right, the castle's finished in Kozuki, and the garden is finished in Kazusa. Okay, castle in Hitachi is also done. Great. Okay, here comes Takeda. All right. All right. So, and this is the faction leader himself, the daimyo of the Takeda clan, and we have 180 men. They have 431. We did finish the castle, so that's kind of nice. The problem, though, is that if we have to fight offensively to take this back, like to reconquer it, we will be fighting a river battle, which is really not ideal. So let's go ahead. We'll automatically resolve the defense. We do have 1 unit of archers, and we've got 120, so 2 units of Yari Ashigaru. Let's see how it goes. Okay, Musashi, you can see here there's just a single bridge. Let's continue. So that's good for us. We do not have the men to defend, you know, anything more than just this, the bare minimum. Okay, well, we get to deploy. We've got 0 Valor peasants, basically. We can put them here. I think that might make the most sense. The general is the archer unit. So let's get them like on either side of the bridge. And let's get the archers right here. They're going to be able to shoot across the river. But there probably will be enemy archers as well. So they could just shoot us down. But let's see if they will. Let's see, actually, yes, we've got 60 samurai archers. At least 60. They've got some cavalry. And cavalry archers. Okay. So, we don't want is to have our guys get slowly shot up. So, we'll fall back a little bit. Okay, here we go. Yari cavalry coming in. Let's hit him with the spears now, at least on one side. And are they all coming in? We're going to have you engage at will. I'm going to aim at the archers with my own bowmen. Yeah, and you can see we're already get some bad morale. Our Yari cavalry are routing. It's very good for us. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. we've got a couple units of cavalry archers, it looks like. And now the problem is we're approaching the bridge, and if we start winning and getting into the bridge, we won't get our flanking bonuses. So I'd like to start routing these guys before we get there. But okay, so we routed, let's see, Yari Cav, Cavalry Archers, another unit of Yari Cav, and so now, what do we have here? More Cav Archers and some Samurai Archers. All right. Let's pull you back. If we can. They're being a little slow to come on. Just fine with me. Yari Ashigaru, Yari Samurai, and then the general himself. So, can we hold this off? They do have an awful lot of archers just standing at the bridge. Okay. Alright, let's go in here with this unit. We'll leave you guys, like, about here. Actually, let's throw them in. If we can get them to route back through these guys, maybe that'll help. Yep, there they go. Great. Yari Samurai. Okay, great. Let's pull you back. Okay, I think they don't have anything else for archers, except for whoever's going to come back. The problem is we're running low on arrows. And if it's going to be up to our Ashigaru to hold the bridge, I am not feeling too good about that. Alright, those Samurai Archers are still routing. That may change. They're getting close to the general. Alright, let's let them come up the bridge. Alright, here comes the cavalry again. That's alright. Let's go in. And let's go in with our Samurai Archers too. And there's the general. If we can take him out with our spears, it's probably game over for Takeda, actually. Alright, we're losing. They've got better honor, you can tell by the little flags. They've got their general right here. He has taken, I think, one loss. They're chewing through us. We're losing badly. This may be the end of it. Haven't routed yet. We need to get a lucky spear thrust. And maybe I shouldn't have thrown in my archers so soon. Maybe that was a problem. Did we kill all of the Yari Samurai? No, not quite. Alright, here we go. They are not losing. Yeah, I think they're just going to push through us. Alright, Yari Samurai now running away. But I think these guys are going to come just in time. No, they've already been routed and they don't like it either. Okay. 8 heavy cav. Can we do it? I'm going to pull back my general. This feels like a very risky move, but I want him to be able to shoot at stuff and not get killed by the heavy cav. 7 heavy cav. Alright, let's aim at the Yari Samurai here. And peppered. 7 heavy cav. Oh, our guys are just on the fringe of routing. Alright, let's take fire some shots right in here. Nope, okay. Maybe I shouldn't have pulled him out, right? But, you know, you never know. He was not an anti-cav unit, right? You've got your archers. I figured I didn't want to throw them all in and lose them all to the heavy cav. So it may have been a foregone conclusion either way, but maybe I could have done that a little bit better. So we've lost Musashi. We do have enough guys to get back to the castle and force them to siege us out. And here we're fighting a sally battle. Again, we are outnumbered. Not quite 2-to-1, but it's still bad. And again, we don't know exactly what they are. All right, so now we get to use the high ground. I think this is the hill that they were defending last time. But it looks like the army, or at least the main army, is going to come from over here. So that means, theoretically, we could set up in these trees. I don't think that's a good move. We're outnumbered. I feel like they could just push on up through. So let's go here. We'll take the high ground. I think our advantage is archers. And let's just make sure there's not someone coming right behind us. Alright, so speed it up. There they are over here. But that's not all of them, is it? Now I'm paranoid. 60, 39, 60. Okay, maybe that is. So now we're going to turn. Okay, this doesn't look too bad. Right, you guys should just go ahead and start shooting. There we go. If we can make the Ashigaru route, it'll make our life a little easier. Oh yes, we're murdering them from here. Great. Great, great, great. Yeah, so this is mostly peasants, or at least a lot of their proportion of numbers is from the Ashigaru. We got one unit. Okay, maybe there's not as many as I thought. They did have one unit, but that's going to rout pretty soon. Let's go ahead and focus on the Yari Samurai now. And we've got our own that are almost at full strength. Starting to shoot back, but they're shooting uphill, so that's going to be less effective. Or actually, I don't know if that's going to be less effective. It's certainly going to hamper their range. All right, I think we're going to do one more volley, and then we're going to switch everybody to... There we go. Let's do it, and now let's charge down. We outnumber them handily now. So we've got a downhill charge of our fresh 50 Yari Samurai versus their, about 50. Probably not fresh, but certainly downhill Samurai. All right, I'm going to actually, you guys probably need to be... Oh, why are we routing? No. They are wavering, though. I don't like that. All right, let's throw in. I feel like aggressively using my faction leader again. All right, here we go. Yard Samurai. Enemy general fleeing. Very good. Okay, and there they all go as well. That's pretty much it. I mean, as you can see, the battles can be very fast. Or they can be quite slow. So in this case, you've got a sort of your basic general with not a lot of skill, although he does have some honor, I think. Maybe not. Some of these units do look like they've gained a bit of honor, and it's probably because their numbers have been reduced. So these are the survivors from the previous battle. So they've got, a bit more experience. But yeah, these battles can be really quick, and it hinges, because the units are identical from faction to faction. The outcome is going to hinge on terrain and, troop quality, I guess. Flanking. The usual stuff. All right, there we go. So we'll just route them off the map, and then we'll see if we get the castle right off, or if we're still going to need to siege it out. Very nice. One of our warriors has achieved the status of legendary swordsman. You may now found a school of swordsmanship. So this is another great thing that that did not make a return to the Total War series for like a very long time. That is building availability being tied to events or things that you do on the campaign map affecting what you can construct. So in this case, legendary swordsman event is when one of your individual men kills a certain number of other soldiers. I think this could be anybody, right? It could be a member of your daimyo's bodyguard. It could be an archer unit or something. But basically, you get one of your warriors famous enough in battle. He's got enough kills under his belt to go off and found a school of swordsmanship. And what this allows you to do once you build it is train Nodachi samurai. So it's a very cool mechanic. I love it. I wish there was a little more of this in the game, and maybe there is in a few places. I just haven't played around with it too much. But I think they added more of this kind of thing in some of the more recent titles, which is a good thing, I think. Ah, yes, the little video. And I mean, if nothing else, that just illustrates how all of the cool stuff was in the Total War series with the very first game. Like, in my view, most of the great stuff was right here from the beginning. So really nice to see. We didn't get videos back until I guess it was Medieval 2, right? So that was another 6 or 7 years down the road. Okay, we did not get the castle just yet. It is about to fall. So that'll probably be next season. Yes, about to fall. Now, we may get another counterattack, and here, in fact, is the faction leader of the Iwasuki clan. So we'll want to get some support over here right away. And let's go ahead and see how we can do that. Now, the problem is we're going to lose Musashi in about a season if we don't do something here. All right, 2 seasons. Who's in it? Not that much. We've got a low honor general and just 16 archers, 22 peasant spearmen, basically. And so what I probably should do is counterattack here, but I don't think it's going to make a difference because we'd be fighting that river battle. And I don't think that's something we can win with just these units. Okay, so regardless, I want to do this. We can't train anything in Hitachi. And let's see. Now is the time if we're going to crank up the taxes. But I don't know if we can... handle that. 73%? Oof, that feels rough. I think we need to go for very low taxes. The difference between that and normal is considerable. It's like 500, but I don't want to get a rebellion. So the timing of your attacks is kind of important. You got to realize that, okay, like if I'm going to attack a place in like winter, I want to have that resolved relatively soon so I can start getting public order up, and I want to bring supports in the forms of other troops. I could bring in some of these guys, right? That could help it, but at the same time, I don't want to clean out this province and invite a further attack from the Takeda. So, we do have a 2-star general here. And this is Yari Samurai. So we've got 2 strong units of that, and they've got 1. They don't have any full units of archers, and they've got another spear unit, but they've got lots of cav, and their daimyo did get his full 11 men back. I think we have to try it. We've got to try it. Probably lose, but let's just go with it. All right, he actually moves out. Our garrison sallies. We now outnumber them. So let's see if we can pull this off. It is unfortunately going to be that river battle. It is raining. Light rain all day. They don't have really any archers. Let's wait. Rain expected all day. Fine day. Okay, here we go. I think this is what we want. Heavy rain all day is I probably should have done it just for the atmosphere, because this game is incredibly atmospheric. When you've got the thunder and lightning. Okay. Yep, let's just begin the battle. They're there at the bridge. No sense in waiting and drawing this out. We've only got one full unit of archers here, and we're going to need to use them to pull these guys forward and kill them on the bridge, or push forward with our own Yari Samurai and hope that we succeed. What do we have? Yari Ashigaru, Yari Samurai. Cav archers are probably not going to charge in. These guys don't have any honor, though. And here is... Okay, there's their general. You know, I think we could do it. I kind of think we could do it. We could just sort of throw in. And the dangerous thing is, if you keep the time sped up, you are liable to lose track. Okay, let's get everybody right where they need to be. And we want to throw in with our first unit and then follow up immediately with our second guy. Alright, we want to run. We want to run. Yeah, archers can be over here. And we want to follow up with you guys as well. I mean, this is probably going to fail. They're going to wait until I'm right across the bridge. Here they come. Oh, they're shooting. I guess that's better than charging. Nope, here they come. Okay, that's Yari Ashigaru, and here's the Yari Samurai. Alright, let's go straight up. Hit them. And you're gonna swing wide to the right. We're close enough to start shooting them, which is great. Alright, and they're running away. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Everybody come across. Oh, are they fleeing? Alright, let them run away. You can fight another day. I'm happy to fight you guys later. I'd like to take out some of these archers, these Yari Samurai, that'd be good. Alright, they came back. Alright, we're just about to charge in. All the archers need to come up. Just about to make contact. Alright. How's this gonna go? Okay, we already used up all of the archers with this unit. Let's bring them around over here. Oh no, these are Yari Ashigaru. Okay. We're gonna have to be careful with them. But let's use them to outflank. Alright, they're running again. Let's hit the Yari cavalry. Awesome. Oh, yes. Alright. Now it's just cleaning up, chasing down the routers. Oh, man. Oh, so good. We got the enemy general, and we got Musashi back, and now if they attack again, we'll be defending that bridge again, and maybe we can defend it successfully that time. Wow, so we lost on the bridge defense, but won on the bridge attack. That is very unusual in my experience in this game. And good news, our clan is now the richest in all Japan. No other clan has such a large annual income. That's nice. And we have taken Mutsu province. Now, autumn, so I think this is our harvest. No, we haven't gotten the harvest yet. That'll come at the end of the season. And so now we do have a chance to crank up the taxes again. So let's do that. We're at low. Let's see what punitive looks like. I think that's good. Yeah, punitive taxes. Let me just double check. Yes. All right. Okay. So here we've got Mutsu, and it doesn't look like they have a lot else. Here, no buildings that I can see, and certainly no castle. So they may be just about done. And we look to be in a pretty good position to counterattack the Takeda clan. We could maybe get this outright if we push now. So let's see. We don't have anything to train with here, but let's go with that again. We wanted to get something going. Let's go with an archery dojo. We've got the money for it. Shimoza, I think I forgot to train stuff last season. So let's go with Yari Samurai. And here, what do we have? Not much. Let's see, Hitachi. Let's build... This would be a good place for an armory. It's got the iron sand deposits, which apparently is not this thing, because otherwise you would expect that to be the case here and here as well. But this is just some resource, apparently, is what this icon means. So that means we could build an armory, which is right here. So this is going to add +1 armor to all units produced in the region. The other thing this does, though, is allows the famous spear dojo to produce naginata, and the famous horse dojo to produce heavy cavalry. So this is going to be just slightly higher tier buildings that'll get some really essential units, and you can only train them in provinces that have this resource and these particular buildings. So again, it's a little more of a restriction than what we saw in medieval Total War, and certainly more restrictive than what we saw in Rome Total War, where you could build anything everywhere pretty much, with a few exceptions. Okay, so I don't think I want to go with the armory just yet, though, because we don't even have the basic spear dojo. So let's do that. And because this is going to be a sort of an armor province, I think this is where we're going to want to go with our melee types. We're going to eventually get swords here, so we'll do that. I think this is going to be required to get our legendary sword dojo. And here in Mutsu, let's get a castle immediately, because, yeah, I think that we're going to want to just be slightly defensive. We could go and probably take this right now, but maybe that would be too fast. There's like nothing there. It's just him. We could take it, we could plunder it, and we could come back if it looks like we can't hold it. So let's do that. Here we could get attacked any old time, so that is a problem. Let's get a unit of just very light stuff here. And do we want to build a spear dojo here as well? I think I kind of want to hold off, because we start getting too many buildings everywhere. You know, we're not going to use them all the time, right? Like we're not going to, eventually, it's not going to make sense for us to train anything here. And since money is tight, let's wait. In Musashi, very tempted to just go right in. But the problem is if we do that and leave this undefended, right, then they come in and take it. And even if we do have a unit here or two, that may not be enough. So we're training where we can, and we're building where we can as well. Let's hold off on that emissary since we apparently haven't lost ours. Where is he? That's our heirs. Our emissary is right up here. Okay, I kind of thought he was moving around and doing different stuff. So let's send him over to Mino and then elsewhere. That's Takeda moving troops by sea. And they're moving down to Sagami. Okay. All right, and we did kick Lord Uesugi out of Dewa. Fantastic. So that was an easy get. And we got an average harvest, so now we've got over 3,000 in our treasury. Oh, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Okay, Shimazu clan may be heading for us, or they may be heading for one of these guys. Same thing with the Oda clan. We've got the north almost entirely locked down, though. So what I could do is, let's ignore Dewa for the moment and go right here. This is all very bad, right? So we're going to have to change the taxes. Let's go to normal. Ooh, still bad. Well, let's make it low. Yep, still bad, but what are you going to do? We're going to go ahead and... Okay, we got to wait to build here. We're not going to build anything in Dewa anyway. I think we're going to be okay there. And Hitachi, we're still building with that. Here we've got Samurai. Let's move them up. And so you can see they're just moving back and forth with these units in such a way that I don't know exactly where to go to drive them out. I could certainly hit one place or the other. Let's do this, because they don't have anything super strong here. I think whatever it is, I could hold it off with a unit of Yari Samurai. And I think it's time to see if we can push them out of Sagami and get some plunder right here. So Musashi, yes, we've got another season. Hopefully we'll be able to build that. And here, let's train. Yeah, let's go with another unit of Yari Samurai, and then we'll switch back over to archers pretty soon. Okay. Yep, I think that's good. Archery dojo is finished in Musashi. That's great. Castle is finished in Mutsu, and Hitachi, the spear dojo, is ready to go. Okay, we're invading Sagami, and it looks like they're going to stick around and fight. We slightly outnumber them. Let's see how it goes. And it looks like they are invading Musashi. Oof. Okay, winter. Light fog. I'm going to wait. I do not want... Okay. Well, it'll be fog then. Fine. Let's get everybody selected and begin the battle. Now notice it doesn't tell you where they are here. Like the little radar map does not tell you where they are. I think until you get very close. They could be hidden. They could be up on these trees. They could be way over on these hills. I'm just trying to scan with my mouse. I don't think they're up there. But let's get up. Well, actually, they probably wouldn't be here either. All right, let's just get out into the middle. They can't be here, right? This is like our deploy zone. I should have checked that a little more carefully. Nope, here they come. Shoot. All right. Well, let's just turn to face them. Yari Yashigaru, Yari Samurai, and then they've got the heavy cav. They've also got some tiny remnants of a unit of Yari Samurai. Okay, that's just fine. Halt you, and let's get the Yari Samurai moving in. This is the general attacking the Yari Ashigaru. Samurai versus samurai. There's not going to be a lot of subtlety to this one. Let's start shooting the enemy general. And they're already running away. Nice. We could have been friends. All right. It looks like that is a withdraw. I could be wrong. Yeah. All right. Let's just give them the final attack orders. Very nice. And yeah, they're off the map, basically. Yes, I think so. Okay. Kind of hard to tell there at the end, but we got them off the field. I don't think there's a castle here, so we're just going to get the province outright. And our guys are gaining honor. That's fantastic. So we push them out of Sagami. Now, this will be harder to hold, and now we've got a problem in that we can no longer defend with all of these guys, so we're going to have to give some thought to that. All right, we're invading Ichigo. This is... it looks like we're going to have another fight against a daimyo. And we do outnumber them again here, so let's do this. Now, I think he may be stuck here. This may be the end for the Uesugi clan, because next to them, they've got the Imagawa, and he can't retreat up here onto this island province, which may be the only other place he has, I think. So let's jump right in. They don't have a lot at all. Oh, that's a bridge battle. Oh, man, I missed that. All right, well... I think we want to wait. I love the snow, but I don't think I want that to hamper my ranged guys. All right, they're right there, and it's just some spearmen, no archers at all. This should be pretty straightforward. Now, they are going to do some annoying stuff here, if I am correct. That is, see how they're just out of range. So, as I go to try to set up, they're going to come over. So, one thing you can do is kind of bait them a little bit. And what, you know, I guess I could do that with the Yari Samurai because they don't have any arrows anyway. But I think I'm going to do that with my smallest unit of Yari Samurai archers, rather. We'll get them across, and here we go. Now we're shooting at them. All right, they're marching quickly. Let's retreat. Switch to engage at will, both of these units. All right, here we go. And they're retreating again. So we're going to do the same thing. And now I'm going to give an attack order. Let's pull back again. I'd like to engage in with my spears. I don't want to do this all the time because sort of the back and forth stuff feels very cheesy. And also, it's just a little unsatisfying. It's just a foregone conclusion, right? Okay, let's bring up all the archers now. And let's bring up the daimyo. And are you going away? I don't think you can. I don't think you've got anywhere to go. And it's not that I have anything against these guys, they're just kind of in my way, right? Notice how he's trying to find a way around to get to my archers. Alright, I may want to put them on skirmish now, but let's just keep it the way it is. Yeah, this is not good. Look how poorly our archers are doing. I mean, these are heavy cav, so they're very strong. It may be also the shooting uphill, maybe the winter time. Alright, we got them down to 9. Alright, now we'll reconfigure here. Gonna deliver the final blow with my daimyo from up and to the right. Whoops. You know, you go ahead and you just keep attacking there. Winning easily. Oh man. All right, let's get down in here. So this is do or die for both of us, really, because my daimyo could get killed just as much as his. So far, no losses, though. Okay, let's not get friendly fire, guys. All right, we are taking some losses, but it's down to just one man. I am going to pull out. Arrows are going to start doing their thing here, I think. We're going to lose some Yari Samurai, I'm afraid. And that's it. Killed by arrows. Or probably spears. Well, probably arrows. Alright, Ichigo conquered. It is now under siege. Lord Takeda has retreated from Musashi. Awesome. And we've got a 3rd rank on this general. This is I think a Yari Samurai unit that we trained and led to victory in Musashi back from the Takeda clan. So he's got rank 3, as good as
When the day is done, I take a tree for my lodge on my weary way.
All right. There's a whole poem here, but apparently the audio files are broken, a little bugged, so you don't hear the whole thing. But yeah, that's faction elimination. That's Uesugi. Degenerated into minor factions, no longer present any threat. Now, what I can't remember is if they're going to reemerge at some point, right? If that's a possibility, it certainly is in Medieval Total War. And so we may have not seen the last of the Yusugi clan. They may potentially try to get some of their own old holdings back. But I think this makes a pretty fitting point for us to end this episode. So we've carved out a nice portion for ourselves, basically, in the northern, third or quarter of the island anyway. A lot of this is still up for grabs in terms of loyalty. There's still some rebel provinces or presence held, and so we're going to have to deal with some of that. We've also lengthened our border with the Imagawa clan. Hopefully they are feeling busy with their own problems fighting the Oda, and potentially they're also dealing with rebels as well. But we are making some progress against the Takeda. Hopefully we'll be able to keep that up, and I hope you enjoy the episode. There's a lot of really good stuff in this game, and we have just barely begun to scratch the surface, so I hope you'll continue to join me for that. Until the next one, everybody, take care.